All right, so one of the ways I teach spelling, besides using the lessons from All About Spelling or whatever program, and I have not always used All About Spelling, I've used other ones in the past before I found out about All About Spelling. I have always, in the 10 years that I've homeschooled my children, used games as a method of review. So here's the deal. When I would give them spelling words, I might get, and I don't remember exactly because it's been so long, I might get 10 words out of them just by sitting there, and I would give them a word, they would write it, give them the next word, they would write it, all that, right? However, when I started incorporating games into my spelling practice, not only did they start having fun, but I got twice the amount of work out of them, amazingly enough, because they wanted to write their words, they wanted to get it right so they can roll the dice and move forward. Now, these games that I have, I'm actually making so that if you click the link on my logo at the bottom of this video, it'll take you to my nonprofit organization for TrueLearn. And we are offering these games for very, very cheap, or you can make your own. And I'm going to show you how. I don't want to hold it up because there's going to be a glare on the video. So I'll show you what these games look like, but they are super easy to play. So let me show you how that works and how I use them. All right, so these are the games that I use. Now I have 4 that I have used literally since my oldest was in 1st grade and he is now in 10th grade. Let me show them to you. So we have this one that says play ball, and they start right here. And you know, they actually helped me make these. They put 3 strikes, you're out, go home, and they had to go all the way back home. There was a free throw, got sacked, lose a turn. And they progress their way around. It's cute, it's kidsy, you think it's simple, but the truth is, they loved it. So this is how you play. And this is really awesome for 1 kid or 5 or 10, all right? Actually, 10 would be a little bit hard to manage, but it can be done. So what I do is I would have all of my kids around the table. I might have my kindergartner, or now he's 1st grade. So 1st grade, he was, so 1st, 5th, and 7th grade. This is what I, and obviously when they were younger, my older ones obviously don't do this as much, but every once in a while for nostalgia, they go back and they'll play a game. But I would give them all their words. I would just point to them and say, dog, ketchup, monster, or whatever the words were. And I just threw those out there. They would all write their words, okay? Now, obviously the little guy who does dog is not gonna be as fast as the other 2. So sometimes I would give the other 2 words to his 1. So I would say dog, ketchup, chair, mustard, you know, whatever, fairground. They would write their words, da, 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 da. I would check them, yep, yep, yep. And then they would roll. They would each roll their own, 1, 2, another kid would roll theirs, 1, 2, 3. Super simple, 1, 2, 3, ooh, 3 strikes, you're out. So I have to go all the way back, 1, yeah, because this was 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. And then I would give them the next word. Da, 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 da. They would write their words, roll, and go around the board. Now, the cool thing is they so wanted to win that they would hurry up and write their word, but they couldn't roll unless they got it right. So then they're working. There's an impetus there to be accurate, right? It's not just write your words to be boring. So they write it. And then if they're accurate, if they got it right, they get to roll. If they're not, then they have to fix it, okay? And then they can roll. So you can be more strict if you want and say you have to write it 3 times and you don't get to roll. That's fine, but some kids will melt down and hate spelling. So you know your kids, you know what they can handle. With mine, I actually started out that way and decided to change and make it so, yes, they had to be accurate, but they had to fix it. And maybe write it 1 or 2 times, and then yes, they could still roll and go. Okay, so vary it however you want, but this made them want to hurry up and write their word, be accurate so that they can go. So instead of only getting, 10 words, I might get 15 or 20 words in one 10-minute session of spelling or 15-minute session of spelling. Now for kindergartners, 20 words is a lot, so I might not have done that much. I don't exactly remember. My 1st grader did that, but he was pretty advanced. So really just do what your kid can. So there's a time frame here of between 10 to 15 minutes in spelling. You don't want to do more than that because for kindergartners, they're still working on their fine motor. And that's a lot of writing for them. Okay, you don't want to wear them out. You still want them to want to play the next day. But again, this can be used to play with all of your children around the table. And this is, my kids actually liked to do it where they would put one game backed up to another. So they would start here and they would go around the board. When they got to here, they would go from here, and they just kept on going. So we usually got through 2 games and sometimes the start of another by the time we got done. And they were cranking out the words. Now, when I told you that I also do words in context, this still works for that. So individual words, I give it to them, I check their work, they roll, they go. Then after about 5 minutes of that, I say, okay, now we're doing phrases, or now we're doing sentences. So for kindergartners, it's phrases. When they get to level 2, it's sentences. And obviously you don't want the little guys laboring over and taking a long time versus the older 2 who are going a lot faster. So I give them double. They don't care. They're whipping it out so they can go, right? So I do individual words, and then I do phrases and sentences so that they can then practice the words that they used in context. Now, after I do the words on the piece of paper, individual words, yes, they will get some wrong. Yes, they fix them. I make a mental note of the ones they got wrong. Then when it's time to do sentences and phrases, I will use the ones they got wrong in context so that they're practicing them again. And if I know that they didn't really get it the first time before they write it wrong, I will help them. All right, let's think about this. And I would walk them through the steps to make sure they get it right before they write it again. You don't want them to write something wrong 2 times in a row, because the truth is they will have learned it twice and made the wrong pathway in their mind. So be proactive with that, but utilize the writing words on one page, flipping it over, writing sentences or phrases on the other side. And that is how I make spelling fun, engaging, and effective.